Recording in progress.
Yo, what up? What up, fam? I'm your boy Trey Frazier. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me today.
Yes, sir. What up?
Welcome, welcome. It's another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can watch us live right now on our YouTube page, Twitter handle, and our Facebook page. Shout out to everybody watching us on those platforms. Also, don't forget you can follow us also on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Maestro, man, another week, man. What's good? How we feeling today?
Good, man. What's good, man? Thankful for dreads because I ain't got $100 for a haircut.
Hey, you man. Yeah, it's working. I'm working, man. God's plan. I mean, it's I gotta tell you, man. I love this podcast, man. Like just some of the like crazy stuff. Like I'll tell you a little bit off air. About what took place over the weekend, fill you in on that. But
now the audience want to know.
Well,
I'm not telling you to say it. I'm just telling you when you put those types of things
out
there.
I know. I just know, folks. We working. We try to get guests on here every week. Whenever we can, and got a bit of a surprise response for. Potential guests to come on in a couple of weeks, hopefully. So, so we'll be on the lookout for that. Other than life, man, we got. Guess we had an All-Star weekend take place. Not much of anything that I didn't watch.
I ain't watched none. I'm sorry, man. I ain't watched none of that shit, man. I ain't watched none of that shit.
Not even the dunk contest, huh?
Not the dunk contest, not the game, none of it. I seen the white boy McClung. He went crazy.
G League. Yep.
Yeah, he went crazy. But outside of that, I ain't watched that shit, man. And Dame won the 3-point contest I saw.
Yeah, he won the 3-point contest. We all know about McClung. I watched Saturday night. I watched that stuff go on. But, like, the game itself, I told Debbie, I'm like, I am not watching that game. I'm not watching that exhibition game.
Yeah.
But I did see that Janelle Monáe, shout out to her, because she also was, I guess she played in the celebrity game Friday night too, and she was present at the All-Star game on Sunday. Shout out to her, shout out to Thames for the performance. Burna Boy was performing. Heard that part of it was dope, but, as far as the game itself, typical run up the score. Alley-oops off the backboard and all that, shooting threes.
They still do the 163 format, though, the first to 163, right?
I think they do. They do. Not sure about that, but Coach Malone came out and was like, look, it's the worst game that has ever been played. And somebody was asking him, hey, how do you fix it? And he's like, not sure that you can actually fix this. Like, it is what it is.
You said Coach Malone?
Mike Malone.
Oh.
Mike Malone was, I guess he was helping coach on one of those sides. I don't remember if he was on the LeBron or the honest side. I would assume he was on the LeBron side because it's Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
But they asked him at the presser after the game, like, hey, what do you think about the game and stuff? And he was like, look, it's nice to, get all the All-Stars out here with the elite talent and all this stuff, but quite frankly, this is the worst game ever played. And there's no way that you can really, fix this. I don't have an opinion about that, like whether you can fix the All-Star game or not. I haven't really dug too deep into that, really. I've just been not watching it for the past few years, because it's really, I don't know if I feel like I've grown out of it or it's just not that exciting to me anymore.
Maybe I could have a situation where it's on the TV on mute and I'm doing whatever else I'm doing. But it wasn't even that. I don't even remember what I was doing Sunday, but it definitely wasn't that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I was doing.
It just don't
hit. It don't hit the same, man. We was matter of fact, we were part 3 of the Upshaws. The part 3 season of Upshaws came out, so we were catching up on that, and we was having a little discussion about the season before I got on here. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I was doing. I guess another side note that's really not related to sports. I wanted to highlight this real quickly. So, Debbie likes to watch this show called Love and Marriage DC. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's got DJ Quicksilver on there with his wife, right?
Okay, yes I have. I'm lying. Yes I have.
Okay, so it's 3 couples in DC. Some of them actually are from Baltimore here too. Quicksilver's from Baltimore.
It's definitely in Baltimore.
Yep. So the episode on Saturday, and this is so dope, man, because, as a guy from New York and has seen people get street names, the street that they grew up on get named after them.
Right.
That's one of the dopest things for me, especially when the person that you're honoring is still here to witness that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I haven't experienced a lot of that in New York. Like, Biggie got the street named after him after he passed away. You know what I mean? Jam Master Jay got the street named after him after he passed away. But, DJ Quicksilver, and I don't know when this happened, but in the episode, they went back to his old block, Shady Side in Baltimore City, and they had a street naming ceremony for him. Okay. Got his own street, named after him and all that. I think that's huge, for a city like Baltimore that's got, their own issues as far as, city politics and things like that. But like for the community and for black people growing up in the neighborhood to see that and to see, hey, you can make it out and you could do what DJ Quicksilver's doing, like that's really dope. I want to shout out that brother, man, for, continuing to do some things and, he's on radio here locally, and I think he's on KYS down your way also.
Yeah.
Too. Mm-hmm. So, shout out to the brother for doing that.
For sure. What up with Karl Malone, man? Why is everybody in the uproar about Karl Malone?
So I had a talk with moms about this, right? Because, some moms, started watching basketball in the 80s. She remembers when Karl Malone got drafted and everything like that. She also remembered the story about him. Well, I guess it's allegedly. I don't know if it was.
That nigga played in the NFL.
You mean the NBA?
No, I thought the son played in the NFL.
The son, yeah, the son.
I'm not talking about Karl Malone. Yeah, I'm talking about the son.
Yeah. Demetrius Bell was a cat's name. He played offensive tackle, I think.
Yeah.
I remember that too. But yeah, allegedly, I don't know if it's confirmed that he did or that he came out and admitted, what happened. But the story is that he impregnated a girl that was 12 years old when he was 20 years old in college. So I was asking Mom, I was like, yo, this dude is a Hall of Fame basketball player, and he's played in the league 20 years, and the league somehow, and I guess media and the league have kind of just let this kind of go under the rug for so long that it's like, yo, what, how did it get to the point where we end up seeing Karl Malone in the NBA because of what happened? And so she kind of basically said, hey, look, sometimes parents don't want to press charges because of not wanting to embarrass the girl in a situation. Sometimes there's money involved, and which to kind of confirm, there was a story where Karl Malone did settle with the family. Yeah. That was confirmed. So she was basically saying, yeah, those types of things happen, and you know, if this is true, which everybody is claiming that this is true, then he hadn't paid his penance for it. And I think that's the uproar while this story is sort of kind of came back into the fold. And we know why it's come back into the fold, because we haven't seen Karl Malone in like years.
And he was at the All-Star game? Is that what happened?
That's what
I was trying to figure out.
He was at the All-Star game. And it was kind of cringy in a sense, because he was a judge for the dunk contest. And so when they introduced all the judges, Dr. J was a judge. I think Lisa Leslie was one, and I forget the others. But they got the Karl Malone, and kind of like I expected, because it's in Utah, it's in Salt Lake City, where he made a name for himself. Like, really, this is the only place that he can come out, right? Like, this is the only place where he can come out and he can get that ovation from the crowd, which was very, very cringy to like listen to that. You know what I mean? Because
so he was getting love.
He was getting love. He was getting love from the crowd, and I just had to sit back like, I get it. It's where you made your name for yourself, but this ain't sitting right, man. Like, no, man. So yeah, I think so. For me, to conclude it, the bigger issue is that even 40 years later, he hasn't been punished for this act. And I think that's what other people have...
What people are upset about.
Is that what people are upset about? Is that he hadn't been punished for the act, number one. Number two, that he was allowed to play in the league for so long while this was kind of under the rug. And number three, and, you know, we're always going to hold the real suspect number one suspect. We're always going to hold Karl Malone to that incident. But, I mean, can you make a case to find other individuals culpable to let this kind of thing kind of drag out, or to let this story continue to be such a story?
Maybe it wasn't a story until he popped back out. So
until he popped back out, right?
Yeah. So it being a story, in my opinion, ain't really the issue.
Or that he was allowed to play in the league. I think people look at it and they say, this dude should have never played in the league based on the actions that happened while he was in college.
It didn't make the news.
Now, you can, and I was going to get to that, because it was early 80s, which was totally different even from like the late 90s, like as far as technology is and media and, you know, no social media, because I could guarantee you if social media existed in the, you know, early 80s, he probably wouldn't have played in the NBA.
No, I think he would have played in the NBA, but he certainly wouldn't have played in the NBA and been celebrated as a player the way he was. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, look, man. They knew about this in college, so he was drafted.
Yeah, he was drafted high.
It was already in the news that he was that he had did that.
Yes.
Correct?
Because it happened in college, yes.
In college, okay. So it was already out when he got drafted.
Right.
Hey, bro, I don't know. I don't know. Mm-hmm. My question though is, for real.
Yeah.
Even if, let's say, because you said something interesting, and it reminds me of a conversation that I was having at work just today.
Yeah.
If let's say he did pay his penance, whatever that is, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Is it do your time, do your crime, do your time, and then everything is peachy, hunky dory, or is it, nigga, you still got a 12-year-old pregnant? Like, all right, you did your time, but we ain't stamping that. In my mind,
yeah.
I mean, you still did that, bro. Like, this ain't like stealing something. This ain't like
right.
You know, I don't know.
It's not even Michael Vick with the dogs. It's not even that.
This is way worse than that. This is way worse than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? This, in my opinion, this is worse than that.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, bro. I mean, I wonder how that mother is now.
Yeah.
I wonder how that kid is. I mean, he ain't no kid. He older than me, but
right.
I wonder how he is. I mean, I also heard that nigga ain't paid all his child support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I thought about this too. He had a daughter that played in the WNBA. Won a few championships. I forget her name, but I think she played on the Detroit team that won some championships like early 2000s or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah. He had a daughter that played in the WNBA. So, and I even heard then that like the daughter and him wasn't like seeing on good terms. So, and I don't know if that had to do with what he did when he was in college, or it's just that maybe he just didn't have a good relationship with his daughter, or like it could have been something unrelated to that incident. But yeah, I mean, Karl Malone's got, he's got some baggage, and I'll be honest with you, if I never saw his face again, I wouldn't complain one bit.
Yeah, he a nasty dude, bro. Like he a nasty dude for real. For that, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know, man. Dude, how you come back from that? Like, how you come back from that shit?
Yeah.
How you come back from that shit?
Yeah, it's wild, man. Like that stays with you. You know what I mean?
It's been swept under the rug. Let's keep it a buck. It's been swept. It was swept under the rug.
Yep.
Never to be brought up again. And obviously social media doesn't allow things to stay under the rug anymore. But,
exactly.
But it was meant to be swept under the rug. I mean, to be honest with it, I thought it was rumors. I thought this shit was rumors up until this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. It. I'm gonna carefully say allegedly, because I don't know the full. But there's a lot of folks that said, "Yo, like that dude, like he confirmed that he did it." And I don't know if it's because of the report saying that he paid the family off. He settled with the family.
Well, I'm sorry, and I'm not to cut you off, but to cut you off, I don't understand how you are settling if you ain't have sex with the girl.
I hear you.
You paying the family off and you ain't do it?
Yeah, I hear you. That's why it's like all this is like to just see his face there, like it just made me cringe a bit, because it's like, yo, I mean, you've been hiding for feel like 20-something years now, and it's so funny. It takes me back to during the pandemic when we were watching The Last Dance, and if you remember in one of the episodes, they said that he declined to appear on the documentary.
Yeah, and
I think when that part of the episode aired was when Karl Malone started trending, and it. That incident from 40 years ago came up again, all because of that one scene in Last Dance. And so, look, man, again, the way the NBA celebrated him, it was cringy, bro. I can't front, bro.
Is there? I mean, I know how you're gonna answer it, because I know how I'm gonna answer it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? I mean, let's be clear. Clearly, there is a crime that is so offensive that you kind of don't care what they did outside of that crime. At the end of the day, you're that. Like, obviously R. Kelly comes up, and you know what I'm saying?
Pedophile. That's the name. Yeah. That's the name that comes up. Pedophile.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bruh.
He a pedophile. It's what it is. What it is, man. Let me. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't. I was changing the subject. But,
yeah.
I was thinking about microwave in the week.
Yeah.
Because it's already happening. I mean, obviously the OC and the DC left in Philly.
Yep.
Javon Hargrave looking for money now, and that's their nose tackle, their best nose tackle right now.
Yep.
The Gardner Johnson stuff. Now they did come back and say that Gardner Johnson is looking for to stand in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't mean he's staying in Philly. And I wish I would.
He a free agent. He's a free agent, right?
Yeah, he's definitely a free agent, along with Bradbury. And I wish I was smart enough. Let me make sure I'm not smart enough. But I wish I was smart enough to have saved the list of free agents. It wasn't a crazy list, but it was, I wasn't that smart, but it wasn't a crazy list, but it was, like notable. Like I said, it was notable people, and also along with the fact that outside of free agents, now players who have contracts, I want more money. You know what I'm saying? Like where
Yeah. So Deebo Samuel, perfect example. He was under contract and was like, "Yo, Devontae getting money, Tyreek Hill getting money, Stephon Diggs getting money. Hey, I want my money too. I don't care if I'm under contract. I want my money. I'm the best playmaker you got. Let me have the money."
I'm just keeping a little. I'm keeping a little eye on that. Not a big eye. I'm keeping a little eye on that. So when if it starts to get crazy, I'm gonna just bring it back up the microwave. Like, hey, bro, I told you this was gonna happen.
You know what they say? Can't sign everybody.
Yeah, and you're not. Quite frankly, a Super Bowl team and a Super Bowl defense that has 70 sacks in a season, you're not keeping. There's no way that's gonna happen.
Yeah, can't sign everybody. Although they don't have to pay Jalen Hurts this offseason. They can wait until the following offseason to.
Well, let's be clear. Jalen Hurts is going to be the one guy that they keep. If everybody on that list goes, of course. So that's not he's never the issue. The pieces around him are the issues. I mean, I think AJ Brown is obviously he's going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Bradbury can get some money, right? Like he can get some money this offseason, and then they could still find a way to work something out with Jalen Hurts in the next offseason.
He got but that would be a mistake.
You got to crunch the numbers. You got to crunch numbers too.
That would be a mistake. Yeah, that would be a mistake. That if you can get Jalen Hurts signed now, you want to do it now.
No, I agree with that. I just don't think it's going to happen this offseason. I think it happens next offseason. I think guys like Burrow, Herbert, I think those guys potentially are going to have the chance to get their bread this offseason.
Yeah, but in my mind, Jalen Hurts got to jump them because he was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow was in the Super Bowl also. So,
2 years ago. Right now, Jalen Hurts outplayed. I give Patrick Mahomes one.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. I'm just saying because, weren't they they were in the same draft, weren't they? Burrow and Hurts, or did Hurts come in the draft after?
Don't give me the line. I want to say the same draft though, in the second round.
The same draft, second round.
Second round.
Okay, that's right because he didn't. That's right. This would be his. Jalen Hurts just finished his third season in the league because he came in for Carson his first year, and then the next year after that was the year they won 9 games or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I might be incorrect about that. Like they may go ahead and pay Jalen Hurts this offseason.
They'd be foolish not to.
They may be able to do that, man. Just one quick note here. We do got a guest coming on with us. He's been on with us maybe a couple years ago. He goes by the name of Ben Sudderth. We call him BS3. He's got his own podcast network. He's going to come on with us in about 15 minutes just to talk a little bit about what he's got going on with his network. Also, big Dallas Cowboys fan, Dallas Mavericks fan. So we're going to talk about what he thinks about, with the whole Kyrie and Luka pairing now, and then what the Cowboys are going to do in the offseason. So, we'll touch base with him in a few minutes. I do want to talk about Eric Bieniemy, Maestro.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate him on the OC job with the Washington football team. And from all the things that I've heard is that Sam Howell's going to be the guy. I don't know that that's a good idea.
Well, it's too early for him to really be the guy, but right now he's the guy.
Right.
Going in, yeah.
I don't know that that's a good idea, but we also just seen one game, and granted he played okay in that game, but I don't know that that's the I would hope that that's not the reason that they're deciding to go with him.
No. The reason is because Carson Wentz and Taylor Heinicke, they don't feel like did the job well enough. Yeah. So now make your rookie that you just drafted the number one guy going into the offseason and give him the treatment as the number one guy to see if he can.
Yeah, I guess.
You should do it now. Yeah, you should do it now.
I guess because I expect quarterback movement this offseason. Derek Carr's out there. There's talks about Ryan Tannehill possibly being let go by Tennessee. Aaron Rodgers is going to get traded at some point. I guess because of that, I'm thinking, Washington kind of got to be on maybe some of these guys that could be free that, maybe might not be
we know that's a
as
static
good.
list. That's a static list, though. Like, you should give Sam Howell the treatment until you bring in,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess we you talked about it. Defense is solid. One of the best D lines in the league. Chase Young will be healthy. Top 5 receiver. I think the running backs are excellent. They're just missing the quarterback.
They're definitely they're missing the quarterback. And granted, they're in a tough division, but they're definitely missing the quarterback to compete.
They're missing the quarterback. So
that's for certain. But like I said, going into the season in March or February, that's reasonable to make Sam Howell the number one guy who whatever number one quarterback attention, whatever that looks like in February, that's reasonable to give it to Sam Howell. I mean that wasn't even like a barn burning news to me.
Right.
How do you feel about Eric Bieniemy going to Washington? Congratulations, by the way. So let's be clear.
Yep.
We're congratulating him on the opportunity, even though it's a lateral movement. So you can already tell how I feel about it. Even though it's a lateral movement, if it's the whole thing where you take 2 steps backward to take 1 forward. If it's that thing, then God bless, and I hope it worked out for him. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like Eric Bieniemy, being the OC for the Commanders, he deserves more. He deserves more.
And I agree with that. And everything that you just said right there really is a reflection on real life. Because I started thinking about, like, in the industry I'm in construction, and I had to jump a couple of jobs just to get to where, to the position that I wanted to get. I couldn't get the position I wanted to a couple of stops ago because either someone was in the way or they didn't value me enough. And so I kind of felt like the way Eric Bieniemy feels like all these years, with the Chiefs, seeing guys like Doug Peterson get jobs because of coaching with Andy Reid, guys like Matt Nagy get a coaching job because of working with Andy Reid, and whereas Eric Bieniemy, who's won 2 Super Bowls, been to conference finals for about, this the 5th straight year they've been to a conference final, and for some reason, this narrative about, he doesn't interview well, he had an incident 30 years ago, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. Like, why are you bringing up an incident 30 years ago?
I didn't even hear about an incident 30 years ago.
Yeah, like some people are bringing up, and I'm gonna be fuzzy with the details, so I won't go into it. But he did have a couple of incidents. One was in college, and then the other one was when he was playing in the league. But still, whether it was an incident even away from college or away from the pros, it was still 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are we using that to gauge whether he deserves a head coaching job or not?
If it ain't Karl Malone-ish, if it ain't Karl Malone-ish,
it's not. It's.
I'm sure it wasn't, because if it was, you'd remember that. So
It's far from that. It's so far from that. But yeah, it's real life. And I feel I went through what Eric Bieniemy is going through now, is making a lateral move to get to where he wants to be, which is eventually being a head coach in this league.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate all of the Chiefs players, past, present, Jamal Charles, Charkandrick West. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Charkandrick West, the former running back, coming out to speak on behalf of Eric Bieniemy, all because of one person that's in the media that's been dogging Eric Bieniemy, and that's Shady McCoy. And there's clearly something there where it's a personal thing for Shady. He was only there 1 year, right? And he didn't get much burn.
Yeah.
So
and you know he was salty about it without hearing him say it, because I ain't heard him say it.
Yep.
Without hearing him say it, he was it's reasonable to believe that he was salty about it, because he still thought that he was a good running back, which he was, by the way.
Yeah.
But he wasn't getting burned for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But what did he say about Eric Bieniemy? I heard that he was hating, but
yeah, he just said that good luck with Eric Bieniemy in Washington, but don't be fooled by some of the stuff that you're hearing from people in Kansas City, because Andy Reid called the plays. Eric Bieniemy is just a guy that just holds and I'm paraphrasing. I'm not trying to quote Shady McCoy here, but he's basically saying, hey, this is Andy Reid's offense, and it's more about Andy than it is about Eric. And I'm just looking at it like, dude, you mad salty right now, cause you mad, cause if you're the only player out of players that have either played for the team in the past or players on the team right now,
I'm gonna shoot him some bail.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot him some bail, and not because I believe I don't know what's real or fake.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that that's Andy Reid's system that we're aware of.
It's his system, yes.
That's his system. So that system was taught to Eric Bieniemy.
Yep.
And whether what Shady McCoy is trying to say is that maybe he don't, like you said, he don't call plays. So if you're expecting to be in Washington and it to become the Chiefs 2.0,
right,
don't expect that, because Eric Bieniemy don't have the he's not the mind of Andy Reid. He's the son of Andy Reid, respectfully. In football terms. Does it seem like hate? Yeah, it does seem like hate.
Yeah.
But God forbid Eric Bieniemy comes into Washington and the offense is trash.
With the quarterback starting, it's a possibility.
I mean, okay, I'll give you a bet. God forbid they get Derek Carr and the offense is trash.
That's a possibility too.
If it happens, then objectively we got to go back and say, Shady McCoy said, Slim don't really be calling plays. Don't really be like he may know the system. He may be able to teach the system, but in play calling, he might not be that familiar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know if it's hate. It definitely seems that way from the way you're saying it to me. Mm-hmm. But that is something to look out for. Just objectively, that's something to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, and even if it's not Eric Bieniemy, even if it's somebody on that staff that got this job with Washington, then yes, you have to be on the lookout for some of the things he might not be able to. He might not be able to be what the Chiefs' offense is, or what that Andy Reid system is. Maybe it's something different in Washington. Maybe he has something up his sleeve. Maybe it could be a number of things. It could be a number of things.
Yes, it could be, but let's be clear. Mm-hmm. Eric Bieniemy is bringing some semblance of Andy Reid's system.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. You don't be the offense that the Chiefs are for how many years they've been, and then get not just offensive coordinator, but he's the assistant head coach. So it's like
right.
Yeah.
How you feel about him getting the title? Like, cause
I think it's important. I hope that it means Ron Rivera about to leave and give him the job.
Yeah.
That's what people have been saying. I hope that's what it means.
Right. Like it means like he's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out kind of a thing.
But the truth is that people have been saying for a few years that Andy Reid is 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
People have been saying that.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, there was a rumor going around, I believe this past football season, where they had a private conversation, him and Eric and Andy Reid,
mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Hey man, just hold on. I'm not gonna be here that much longer.
Right.
Just stay here, and then you're gonna inherit what I just put together."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was true, or Eric Bieniemy didn't want to wait no more, or he didn't want to be seen in the shadow anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
Congratulations, nonetheless. But I feel like you have been a part of the best offense in the past, let's say 10 years.
Yep.
And you just got another offensive coordinator job. That's crazy. Meanwhile, Stecklin over in the Eagles, and no shade to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's with that offense for what, 1-2 years maybe?
1-2 years. Lost the Super Bowl, bro. The staff that lost the Super Bowl got head coaching jobs.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy.
That's
wild,
kind of
crazy.
Man.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
When you say it out loud, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I get the Super Bowl is one game. I mean, the Eagles played like this all year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I get it. You don't look at one game.
But the Chiefs' offense has been the Chiefs' offense for 10.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily 10, but close to 10.
Mm-hmm. No, about 10 years. We've been there about 10 years now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the offense hasn't been this though.
Oh, got you. Yeah. It's amazing to me, man. But again, congrats to Eric Bieniemy, and maybe and with the potential sale of the Washington team pending. I don't know what the status is right now, but maybe this falls into the right hands. Maybe the leadership at the top is changing a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Ron Rivera. Is he on his way out? And it might not be that he's gonna get fired or anything like that. It could just be he just tired of the shit in Washington. He could just.
It seems like Commanders fans want him to be tired of the shit.
Yeah. Like, look, bro, you've been through a lot, cancer, family, and all this stuff. Like, bro,
and God bless you, by the way.
Absolutely, but it just seemed like something like to answer questions about ownership, the team direction, things of the past. Like, Ron Rivera ain't trying to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know we said we was gonna talk Kevin Durant, going back to last week. Now that it's kind of.
Well, I thought you was gonna. I guess BS3 came on, but I was gonna get right into it. Cause I saw the line of questioning on my text message.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could get his opinion about it, but while we're waiting on him, Kevin Durant, with the Suns, they traded Mikal Bridges, over to the Nets.
Who has been balling, by the way?
Yes, yeah, he's definitely. What, he dropped 40-something the other night.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So. You and I agreed before we got off last week that they are a favorite. They are a favorite to come out of the West.
Okay, you say.
I think we differ here. Here's where I think we differ. Cause you got them winning the championship. I see you.
It's a wrap.
I see you. It's you.
A wrap.
You got them winning the championship.
Pending injury, it's a wrap.
Look. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I don't think they win the championship this season, and if it turns out that way, I will shoot them bail. But next season is going to be an entirely different set of circumstances, because you're going to have a full season now, training camp. You're going to know these players, in and out. There's going to be time for chemistry to develop and things like that. And so I think not only will they be favorites next year, but they're gonna be counted on to get to the finals and win the whole damn thing next year. But this year, I don't think they win it. Will they get there? It wouldn't shock me, but I don't think they're gonna win it this year.
BS3, what's up, man?
What's going on? I didn't know I was like on as soon as I clicked on.
Oh yeah, now we into it already, man. Let me first welcome you here, Ben Sudderth, aka BS3, founder, CEO of the BS3 Network, which you can also find on, what is it? Hulu, right? Is it Hulu or
Roku?
Roku.
Yeah.
Roku.
BS3 TV on Roku. Yes,
That's
sir.
That's what's up, man. Making big moves, man.
Yes, sir.
What's good, man? It's been a minute. How you feeling?
You got the grind biz, homie. I ain't gonna hold you. You got the grind like you've been outside.
Yeah, man. It's going great, man. It's been really nice to see this thing grow. We all kind of started off around the same time, so just doing creative creative things, letting creatives create, and yeah, it's just exciting to see the journey.
Now, the last time we had you on here, probably about a couple of years ago, but you were telling us how your parents were doing a podcast on your network too. Yeah. Are they still doing that?
Yeah, they're still doing a podcast. They do it every Saturday, religiously. They don't miss. If they traveling out of town, they still do it.
Like, nice.
They are very, very focused. They got 100 episodes in, so yeah.
Wow. Congratulations! Congrats!
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's pretty dope to see. And I was talking to them for a minute, and they were like, "All right, we're finally gonna do it." And then from there on, they've been riding that train.
All right, we gonna you family to us. We've known each other for years. But for anybody who don't know, man, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so started off in podcasting in 2015. Just went on a friend's podcast, and I was like, all right, I'll see what it's like, and then I was hooked. I mean, and from there on, I've been doing podcasting ever since. 2019, started BS3 Radio at that point in time. Or we were doing mainly sports, and then I started branching off, adding people with other content, relationships, society and culture, just pretty much anything to kind of diversify the platform. Mm-hmm. And then kind of fast forward to now, we do have a Roku channel, BS3 TV. We also still have the audio side of it, so a lot of people still do the audio and the video side. And yeah, that's kind of the journey up until this point.
That's what's up, man. And you still doing radio coverage with Dallas and Mavericks and that type of stuff?
Not as much.
Okay.
I think since we're growing, I'm getting ready to. I just actually applied for Rangers credentials, Texas Rangers.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Gonna try to get the Mavs, obviously with Kyrie, but period, just to have a pulse, on the city. And then the big boys, the Cowboys, I know you got to know somebody to know somebody. So I'm gonna have to find somebody to try to get in. If I can get one game, one game, single game credential, I think that'll be a big time win for us too.
Yeah.
Now I'm sorry, Maestro. But speaking to that, when you talk about media credentials, I used to think that you had your NFL media credentials, which means you can kind of go to any game in the league with that pass, and then you had like the official maybe team credentials, like a local beat writer would have. Is there still that difference between the two, or is it just one media pass for everybody?
So each team does have media credentials that they give out to either beat writers or media members. But there is a national credential, that would be for, kind of the big time cats that they can just go to pretty much any game. It doesn't matter where. Those are normally the ESPNs, the Fox Sports, those type of people. They get open access, if you will.
Right. Yeah, don't worry. BS3 will be right there with them big boys, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we getting there.
Nah, man, I've been, obviously as we're growing in as a podcast, I'm noticing like a lot of people are starting to do, cover games, local games. So man, it's interesting to know. It's interesting to know how that works, because I wouldn't mind going to a few of these games on the strength of that.
Yeah. And I'll send you, sometimes depending on the sports organization, you can go on the website, for like MLS soccer, and you can apply on there. Or, I'm not afraid. I'll just look up whoever the media person is and just send them an email. Say, hey, this is my podcast. This is what I'm doing. This is, how many listeners and viewers. This is how long I've been doing it.
Yep.
So I'll definitely send y'all the basically the template. All you do is just plug in your stuff, and the only thing they can say is no. But I think a lot of times they'll give you like a one game, a game by game type of credential, I guess, just to see maybe how serious you are about it, or to see if there's room, because if it's a big time game, some of those credentials may be getting given to some of the big cats.
Right. Yeah, Maestro, I'm glad you brought that up, because we know a couple of ladies that went to the XFL game in DC on Sunday night. You was referring to that, right?
Yeah.
I assume you was referring to that. Yeah. So we know some ladies that actually do have credentials and go to some of those events. But like the XFL, and I think you got an XFL team down there in Dallas, right?
Yeah, we got they play at the old Texas Rangers Stadium.
Right,
Arlington,
right. Yeah. That's a terrible name, but should be Dallas, whatever. But yeah, like an event like that would be good to kind of get your feet wet as far as getting media access.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, MLS soccer. Some people don't really like soccer, but that's the first thing I really gotten into as far as credentials, and I enjoyed it. I mean, not really growing up watching soccer. Soccer is a big international sport,
right?
But being able to go and cover that, I felt like was kind of good to get my feet wet. So start at whatever level you want to start at, as what I would normally recommend people.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's what's up. Hey man, let's get into the Dallas Cowboys, man.
All right, see y'all later.
Right. Cause y'all are in an interesting spot, man. I mean, clearly it would seem as if the Eagles have kind of taken over the reins of the East, and Giants are kind of cooking, and Washington is looking to cook. I don't know if they're gonna get there, but they're at least trying to put the ingredients together and they're at least putting water in the pot. But y'all are still a good team. So what's kind of like the dichotomy? Well, first let's rewind before we talk about what's going on in the future. Sum up the Dallas Cowboy year, and I'm sure it's not nice.
Yeah. I'll first say, Dak going down, I really honestly thought the season was over.
Me too.
Like, we're gonna be last in the division.
Me too.
It's a wrap. Nothing good's gonna come from this this season. And then the way Cooper Rush came in, I felt like that was amazing. Like that's the reason why you get a quality backup, somebody that knows the system, somebody that has a relationship, with the OC and the head coach.
Can manage the game.
Right, can manage the game, and he basically just didn't make mistakes.
Yeah,
that was his whole game, and he handed the ball off. Tony Pollard was huge doing that run. Dalton Schultz was his security blanket, doing that entire run. So, and then you kind of fast forward, Dak comes back, is a little rocky, led the league at one point or possibly at the end of the season in interceptions, and he missed 6 games. To me, that part just shows that he is not a great quarterback. I know people don't like this conference. Some people agree on whatever side. I don't think he's great. I think he's good. I think he makes too many mistakes, specifically when the game's on the line. And you go fast forward to the 49ers. They had plenty of opportunity to win that game. That game was on a silver platter. That second half, all they had to do was really score, 10 points. And I mean, they would have won that game, or a touchdown. They would have won that game. So I'm not very high on Dak at this moment. Will that change? Possibly. But I made a video. I did a podcast. Like, I'm off the Dak train at this point. I don't see how he can actually win, and he has to show me. Like, people say, oh, he did this during the regular season. Oh, he beat Tampa Bay. That was a great win, beating Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay.
I saw that coming from a mile away, though. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but it's Tom Brady's old. That team was not going to beat. I don't think they were going to beat anybody.
Yeah,
they limped in the playoffs just like we did.
I was skeptical, but I was led to the light eventually.
I had been saying that because we obviously as the regular season was coming close to an end, it looked more and more like y'all were going to see Tampa. So
it was.
I was saying right. So I was saying it for weeks before it happened. I'm like, they're going to see Tampa. They're going to smoke Tampa. Let's be clear. The Cowboys are going to get a game, but after that.
I'll be honest with you, Ben. I picked the Dallas Cowboys to beat the San Francisco 49ers. And I was close. I was close. But, like we had kind of talked about after the game, you can't lose Tony Pollard and lose that elusiveness in your offense and think that you're going to be able to, keep up with what the Niners are going to, throw back at you.
Because basically Zeke would have had to go back in a time capsule, and somehow turn the clock back, and that just wasn't happening.
Right.
The dude averaged 3 yards per carry the entire season. He was a short down back.
Yeah,
so that But we go to the point of Dak though.
Yep.
People don't like to talk about money or being in people's pockets, but the dude's getting paid $40 million a year. This is your opportunity to win that game. I don't care what you got. I don't care if you got the 4th-string running back.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to win this game.
Yep.
And he just flat out didn't do it. That's pretty much it. Now, I think this offseason is going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, a couple of turnovers in that game too early on, even before Tony Pollard went out. But Ben, what the hell was that at the end of the game? What the hell was that, yo?
I don't know, man. I think it was. I guess it was wishful thinking that if you handed the ball or Zeke was the center, that maybe they were going to do
trying to get that man killed.
Pitch something to Zeke and try to do that whole lateral thing down the field.
Yeah.
But the execution was poor. If that was the plan, the execution was poor because you passed the ball to somebody that was already a defender draped over him. So the written plan or the written play did not pan out, and it goes back to last year, almost the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. Dak does a quarterback sneak and tries to kneel, and you got the same result. So back-to-back years, same team, same result.
Wow, that's a great point. That's a great point. How much do you think that played in Kellen Moore losing his job?
I think it was honestly the entire year. Them not being as creative probably as maybe the Joneses wanted them to be, and I think there was a little bit of a possible rift between him and McCarthy, but also I think the Joneses was basically saying like, look, McCarthy, this is your offense now.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them was pointing a finger at Kellen Morris. It was like, okay, we about to give it to you.
Yeah.
What are you about to do with it? And there was a point they brought up here in Dallas radios that Kellen Moore and Dak really came up together. I mean, they're more so teammates than they are, coach and player. So I think that actually factored into it too. I don't know how much you can tell a guy that he was your backup,
right?
That you need to do this or do that. So I think there was a lot of factors that ran into it. But I think McCarthy is on his even though they two back-to-back 12-win seasons, I think he's on the hot seat too.
That's crazy.
That's reasonable. I'm sorry, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I get it. They're the Cowboys. I get it.
But more than that, no, it's not just that. It's not just that they're the Cowboys. Trey, we've been saying for the past 3, maybe 4 years that the Cowboys, roster-wise, are a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yes.
And if they're a Super Bowl caliber team, then the expectations is not how many wins you win in the regular season. It's just not.
Sure.
And then to go into the playoffs and lose to the 49ers the way they lost to the 49ers this year, and if I'm not mistaken,
last year
too.
Yeah. So on a dumbass lack of the kneel or whatever the hell they did, and then the next year with the most ignorant looking, stupidest looking formation play where you got Zeke getting bull rushed by It leaves. I mean, as much as people say that coaches just look at statistics and analytics, and that's the measuring stick to why people should keep their jobs. No, it be how shit looks sometimes, and sometimes shit just looks stupid, and that shit looks stupid for the past 2 years to say you got a Super Bowl caliber team or a Super Bowl caliber roster, and in your playoff stints. And the way they've done it in the past 2 years, that shit just looks stupid.
Yeah. It looked bad. And now to your point though, Trey, this is more so what the fans feel. The organization probably will keep McCarthy for as long as possible. I don't see them firing him anytime soon. So they don't like, this organization doesn't like change, but the fan base is thinking like McCarthy's not going to do any better, and this team is not going to do any better, this next upcoming year. And I think that's the part that probably pisses off most fans. But Jerry making money, man. I don't think he really cares. I think he cares less if they win another Super Bowl. I'm not going to say he cares less, but it's not a top priority for him.
Yeah, because that's been like the talk. Like Jerry's not getting younger. Jerry's on his way out,
Yeah.
like that's sort of been like the talk. And it's like, well, bruh, Jerry's like he's the general manager, he's the owner, he's the janitor, he's everything,
Yeah.
to that football team.
Or his family. Now, I'll say this.
Yeah.
A lot of people say Jerry's still in control, but I don't think he is. I think his son, Steven's in control, and that's the reason why you haven't seen him take a lot of risks. You haven't seen him trade for a Dion type situation.
Yeah.
You haven't seen him, make a big time trade. They don't like trades. They don't like change, and I think part of that has to do with his son.
Yeah,
they call him Cap Boy here because he's always trying to stay under the cap.
Yeah,
that's the guy I would put under the fire. Is Stephen Jones?
He'll never be under the fire.
I know. It's a family thing. I get it.
That would be nice.
But McCarthy's kind of done what he could. But I agree with you, Maestro. It's time to take that next step. Especially with a roster like this.
Yeah, as a team, yes, it's definitely time to take the next step.
It's time.
So, Ben, you by the way, good looks on using that beat for the promo. I seen you, appreciate it. Good looks on that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Dak, man, I want to go back to Dak because you done with Dak. To be done with Dak, if the world was yours and you were in their offices. To be done with that, I mean, you essentially talking about at this point a rebuild.
Yeah, but starting from scratch. I mean, you're right. I don't want Jimmy G. I don't want Aaron Rodgers because those guys are older, and Aaron Rodgers is probably on his way out. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I think you got to start from scratch. With this team, does not do that. They are so afraid from starting over. The only time they had a losing season probably in the past, I don't know, at least 10 years. Was that year that we had Brandon Wheaton in playing quarterback. I think that was that year Dak ended up getting hurt or something happened. Yeah. So, I mean, it is they don't want to just rip the Band-Aid off and say, all right, we're going to be trash for a couple of years until we get to where we want to be. And I think until they do that, I don't know if they'll ever really reach that peak because they're just piecemealing stuff and they're adding pieces in here and there. But a lot of teams, depend on what they've done to be successful, but a lot of them just totally tear everything down and rebuild. And eventually they become, great. And I think they just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So you are 100%, not to cut you off, Trey, so you are 100% down for tearing that offense up. Because clearly the defense, you ain't about to really do nothing too crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I'm down for it. The only problem is the contract that Dak has, nobody about to trade for that.
Right,
contract.
Obviously.
He's gonna be here regardless. But yeah, I would be fine with a CJ Stroud. I would be fine with a Bryce Young and starting over. I mean, what do you have to lose? You haven't won anything in the past 25 years, so it's not like you losing anything by making that move.
I'll throw a scenario at you though, man, because I've been picking that Trey for like past 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month now, about the Lamar Jackson situation. But this is kind of a similar situation, or not necessarily a similar situation.
It's not similar.
It's not similar in the sense that obviously Lamar Jackson get ready to be a free agent.
Yeah.
But could you see a trade scenario where somebody like in Atlanta who needs a quarterback desperately, or the Jets who need a quarterback desperately trading away picks for that?
I see it possible. I just think that I don't think they would want to use that much cap space. But I mean, it's doable because I mean those teams are looking at Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy G. So their price tag is gonna be big. But I think, and if you rewind back, they were talking about this. You look at that Herschel Walker trade and the amount of picks they got for that trade, and that equal to Emmett, Troy, and Michael Irvin.
Right.
I mean, history doesn't always repeat itself. But if you're in a position to have, an extra top pick, to contribute to your team, I'm all in. He just hasn't shown in the crunch time. Regular season, Dak is. I'm not gonna say he's great, but I'm gonna say he's very good. He was at MVP level.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Right.
But when the pressure gets to him, or maybe it's the complete organization, they just seem to crumble. And you're not gonna win anything that way. You gotta show up when it matters most. And losing to Mr. Irrelevant, I mean, it really don't get any worse than that, man.
Yeah, but it's like I told Trey going into that game, man. What's good about Brock Purdy is that he's smart enough to just stay within the system. Yeah. He ain't about to deviate. He ain't about to try to do nothing because his arm talent is so amazing. See, that problem is that he's such a good talent-wise. He's so good. He starts to feel like, oh, I could do something that's not necessarily a characteristic of the offense, and step outside of that, and then that's when picks come, and that's when mistakes come.
I can squeeze that ball in.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it was on his wide receivers. If you go back to that Jacksonville game, that hit Noah Brown right in the chest, bounced off, and went pick six.
Yeah.
But again, your team can't be in situations like that.
Right.
You look at a legit team. They're not going to be, in the majority of the time, they're not going to be in situations where it's going to be a close game in Jacksonville that they can possibly lose. They're just good teams. Yeah. Don't put themselves in those situations.
Right.
And the Cowboys continue to do it year after year, and I think that's the biggest problem.
I give your team, particularly your defense, I give your defense credit in this regard. They made Brock look a little different in that playoff game compared to the previous week against Seattle. I mean, he was kind of tearing the Seahawks up, and I said, kind of going back to that week leading up to the game, that they're not going to be playing the Seahawks. They're going to be playing a Dallas defense that's going to be a much tougher unit on that side of the ball, and I thought throughout some of those plays, they made Brock look uncomfortable there. It just wasn't good enough because the quarterback gave the ball away a couple times, and it just kind of kept him in the game.
Yeah, and hats off to the defense. The way they were pretty much shut down Debo. Debo didn't have, I think he had about 30 or 40 yards, and that was it. Besides that touchdown that McCaffrey had, they pretty much shut him down. So it really was on Brock Purdy, and that catch that Kittle had with that juggle catch.
Oh yeah.
I mean that really kind of opened the game up, and Trayvon Diggs trying to blind tackle somebody. It's a whole other story. Come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were in that, and that's the part that I think that upsets me most, is that they were in that game. It wasn't a blowout. It was close. You had opportunities. Yes, you didn't have Tony Pollard, but again, you got CeeDee Lamb. You can get the ball to him, and they didn't put in Malik Davis. Malik Davis was the third string, but he was at this point in each of their careers, he's better than Zeke, and they didn't put him in at all. So
Right.
What do you think? I'm sorry, Maestro.
Go ahead.
What do you think would be the compensation to get the number one pick in this year's draft from the Chicago Bears? Because obviously they already have a quarterback. Yeah. It appears that they're not going to draft a quarterback, but the team keeps putting it out there, and I think they're doing that just to drive the price up for teams who think that they got a chance at the number one pick. What do you think that compensation is going to be?
Yeah, I think it would have to be a 1, a 2, and probably one of your star players. They're definitely not giving up Micah, so it would have to be, some type of young talent. Maybe Gallup, which Gallup kind of had a little bit of a down year coming back from the injury, but he's still a great talent. So maybe that's how you have to package that. But it would be a 1 and a 2, possibly another 1.
Right. They get that number one, right?
Yeah, that's a prize pick. But I don't see them doing it. I think they're
they're gonna stay pat.
They're too scared. Yeah.
I feel you. So projections, man. And I promise this is my last question about the Cowboys. I know this is painful. Good? I know this is painful, but I imagine it's a little painful. Projections, man. Like, look, man, y'all. You got the 49ers, you got the Eagles, you got some teams to deal with in the NFC. Where do y'all stack against the NFC?
Yeah, I would say the second best team. I mean, I think the Giants are definitely on the rise. I don't think they're there. I think they really had a great year, which surprised me. But
me
shout out to Dable. Saquon Barkley was healthy the entire season. I think that's really what changed everything.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones didn't make major mistakes. So I think we're still the second team behind the Eagles. The Commanders, honestly, if they would have kept Heineke in the whole year, hell, they could have probably been in more games. They probably would have won more games. But they got on that Carson Wentz training in. But yeah, I think we're the second best team. I'll put us there.
Second best team in the division, so maybe third in the conference.
I'll say fourth. I think there's probably some other teams.
Who's that other team? Minnesota?
Yeah, I would say Minnesota. Even though we beat them, I'll still say Minnesota.
Y'all ain't beat them. Y'all whooped their ass.
But that was like a
that was an emotional game. That was they was fresh off the Buffalo win. I think it's fair to say.
Was that the week after? That was the week after, right?
It was the week after the Buffalo win. Yep. I think they was a little clocked out for Dallas. And now I don't know if they would have won. I don't know if they would have changed the winner or loss. But I think 40-3. I think they was clocked out of that game.
Man, I was shocked.
I think they was clocked out.
I think that just showed how suspect the Vikings were really the entire year. But they always seem to be in it.
Yeah. Well, they got Brian Flores to run the defense.
Turn it around.
So
I think he's going to turn it around.
He's going to be a big difference maker over there. So you might be right. Y'all might be looking at the fourth best team in the conference when it's all said and done. But
Kyrie Irving.
Yes, let's get to that.
Yeah,
Kyrie Irving is a Dallas Maverick. Less on the Brooklyn Nets being dismantled. We ain't tripping off of that right now because we got you on. How you feel about it?
I was excited. I mean, I think obviously it's early on. You got to look on the bright side and say, all right, you got Kyrie and Luka. Like, to me, if they said that at the beginning of the season, I would have been cheesing because I mean that combination, I think it would be great. I think Kyrie, like you said, he's been welcomed with open arms, and I think at some point somebody's probably going to ask him a question that's going to end up putting him back in the news again. But he's a dude that just speaks his mind.
Yeah,
they just don't like that, and I think. And he even said, like, "Hey, I don't know what's gonna happen at the end of the year. Don't ask me any more questions about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if the media is respectful of that. But this is not New York. This is not L.A.
Yeah.
It's gonna be softball type questions. I don't see anything hard that's gonna cause him to end up being in too much hot water. So I think it's a perfect situation. Hopefully, I think him and J. Kidd got a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Nico Harrison obviously had a piece in this, being, Kyrie was with Nike and Nico Harrison used to be with Nike. So yeah, I'm excited. I didn't think it was going to happen just because the Mavericks haven't really been in, a big time trade like this in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, because they were wanting Deron Williams. I remember that year they wanted Deron Williams and Dwight Howard. They both went elsewhere.
I remember that.
He ended up getting Deron later on when he was older, and he ended up getting J. Kidd later on when he was older.
Mm-hmm.
But they really just haven't got that guy to come here. So to me, this is big because you got one of the, at least you can say top 5, top 10 players in the league right now to trade to the Dallas Mavericks and not say you want to buy out immediately. So
right. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. However, with the trade, you got to give something up, right? So Finney Smith is in the trade, so you lose some defense there. The bench kind of thins out a little bit. That may be the only spot I would worry about with you guys. I mean, you guys are going to score.
Yeah, that is going to be an issue,
Yeah, like, you guys are going to score. But as far as, like, the bench is concerned, like, that's going to be... And the defense, for that matter. Like, I think defense kind of goes away a little bit. Y'all just going to be in games where y'all just going to be trying to outscore some dudes, man.
That's it. And even Jason Kidd said something to that degree. Like, hey, we just got to outscore people.
Yeah.
When he originally got there, he was talking about defense, which he did improve the defense last year.
For sure.
But yeah, this year, it's really the first one to whatever point wins. It's kind of the mentality that they have to run with. I think that they were waiting on Maxi Kleber. He's a good defender to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But really in the middle, it's really comes down to Christian Wood, which he's not the best defender.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue that I think they have with him.
Yeah.
That's kind of partly as to why they were trying to trade him. But JaVale McGee, if he can fit in, that would be great. I think he's a good defender. But yeah, that's going to be the biggest issue. And as the West gets better, KD going to the Suns.
Yep.
Russ going to the Clippers. I know people like to talk about Russ, but who knows how that relationship will be with them. I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to come out of the West.
Yeah.
So what's the ceiling? What's the ceiling for the Mavericks this playoffs?
Yeah, I would say back last year, Western Conference Finals. I think that's right. I think that's the ceiling. And I think, what a lot of people have talked about is they lost Jalen Brunson, and basically they replaced him with Kyrie, which is an upgrade. So essentially, you almost got the same team. Obviously, like you said, Dorian Finney-Smith, that was a loss. Spencer Dinwiddie was so wishy-washy. I don't think he lost as much with him.
Yeah, streaky.
I think, streaky. Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's the word. So I think that in injuries, obviously injuries can change everything, which I think is what similar to what happened last year. Could happen again this year, depending on who it is. But I'll say the Western Conference Finals is the ceiling.
Do you think Kyrie Irving still has that I want to be a leader mentality?
I don't know, because there was a couple games where they're coming down to the last shot, and Luka and Kyrie couldn't figure out who was going to shoot the ball, and they ended up losing because nobody shot the ball. So I think he has it, but I think he's respectful of Luka because obviously he's the star of the team. But they got to come up with who's going to do what, who's going to get the shot at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I think Kyrie still has that, but he's almost like that guy that I think had that dog in him, but now he's a little bit more reserved, a little bit more.
An older dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He knows. I think he's more so focused, I think, of himself, the person, more than he is the basketball player.
Yeah.
So I think he'll defer to Luka. I think once they figure that out, I think it could be magic.
Yeah, I'm sure. I would hope. Let me say, I would hope that he's aware at this stage of the game. And that's no shade to who he is as a player today, but Luka is top 3. Right now. So I would hope that he would know that when Luka is ready to take over, hey, just sit in the corner and be ready if you kick it out. I would hope that he, I would hope he knows that. Because that's going to be, in my mind, and again, no shade to Kyrie.
Yeah.
He should just handle the ball. He should be ready to handle the ball when Luka don't want to do it. And he'll and he's good enough to manufacture points that way. So don't it's going to work that way in my mind. It's going to work that way. But 1 through 3, he should look forward to handling the ball. A little more ball handling, setting up offense, that type of stuff. And when Luka ready to do him in the full quarter, when it gets tight in the playoffs, as it always seems to with Dallas,
right?
Then he just got to know to move, get out the way. Get out the way and be ready to spot up. I would hope that that's his approach.
Yeah.
Or at least he's being told that.
Yeah, and almost like Jason Kidd was when he got here. We knew Jason Kidd wasn't dropping 30 a night.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But his court vision was so great that he was able to get people the ball. Man, Deshaun Stevenson was great during that run.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Stevenson was not great at all.
At all. Yeah. Right.
So I think his court vision, I think, is what's needed most. Obviously, his handles. Just watching some of the games, it's great to see him in a Mavs uniform, and so we'll see what happens.
Hey, Maestro, some former Wizards was on that championship run too.
Which one?
Deshaun Stevenson and Brendan Haywood.
Brendan Haywood. Yeah. Yep. I remember it. So, so we agree because you answered it. We agree that the ceiling is the conference championship. Yeah. I'm just gonna ask you. You ain't got to be honest with me if you don't want to. You can be biased. The Suns, man. It seems ain't nobody stopping them, right?
Nah,
of course.
I'm not gonna deny bearing injury.
Right.
Nobody's stopping them.
But do they gotta win it this year? For you, do they gotta win it this year?
You said for him.
Do they have to?
Do they have to win it this year?
I don't think they have to. I mean, I think it would be great. And aging Chris Paul, you need to win it sooner or later.
Yep.
But I don't think they necessarily have to. I have to look up KD's contract situation. I think he probably still has a couple years.
Nah, he's got like 3 years left on the deal.
3 years, because he had just read up,
So they don't have to win it this year. They already signed Ayton. They already signed.
Book got his money.
Booker.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like at this point, it would just be Chris Paul having to sign probably another deal. So I don't think they have to win it this year, but I think it would be great for that organization, obviously for Chris Paul, if they did win it.
No question.
Chris Paul getting that ring, bro. I hate to be the guy.
He getting it this year though.
This year, cancel Christmas.
So he's got the Suns winning it all this year.
Look, the second, because you know,
he's a big Kevin Durant fan, by the way.
Okay.
I didn't even realize that it happened. I woke up the next morning and I'm at work.
We all did, yeah.
And my man said something about Kevin Durant. I'm like, why is he talking about Kevin Durant? He's like, Slim, you ain't know that he went to the Suns? No. Had to go get on my phone. Oh, I had to walk out. Hey, it's over. It is over.
I think KD obviously one of the greatest players, and Booker, who's obviously the skill that he has.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just comes down to the playoffs where they all show up when it matters. I think KD's gonna be there regardless. But this is almost similar to a Warriors situation.
Absolutely, I was just about to say
they don't have 3 stars already. They got. Well, actually, they do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ayton and Book and CP3. Yeah.
So I mean, this is almost like KD's the contract for hire at this point, man.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And to your point, Maestro, they was talking about this deal wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, it's over. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see that trade go down, I was surprised too.
Yeah, but that trade probably should have happened before the season started. When Durant came out and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna request a trade." Yeah. Right, like that trade should have happened. And and me and Maestro, we were kind of in a little back and forth about the Suns and their trajectory and stuff. He doesn't trust the Suns, and this is before Kevin Durant got traded there. Obviously, this had to do with your boys knocking them off in the playoffs last year. My thing is this with the Suns. They realized, to me, that the Warriors are back, and that they needed somebody that was going to help them take over the top, which is why I think the idea about them getting Kevin Durant over the summer was a thing. I think they realized that, like, yo.
But I can't imagine them being worried about, and I'm not saying they're not worried about the Warriors, but I can't imagine them saying they're worried about the Warriors when they can't deal with Dallas.
They needed somebody to upgrade them, basically, is what they needed.
Yeah.
Because them losing against Dallas, so obviously
they shouldn't have lost to Dallas.
They shouldn't have.
Hey,
everybody in Dallas was like, "What the hell is going on? How
are you
still in this?"
They shouldn't have, but that's not for me. That's not a matchup. That wasn't a matchup problem. That was just Book and CP3 going what? I forget the numbers. 5 points between the two of them before the first half ended. Like
that was a product of them disappearing in the most important game that both of them have ever played in their career. That is a problem.
That won't happen again.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Kevin Durant there now.
Sure, but even if KD's not there, I'd still say that won't happen again.
Yeah, but even if they don't have, and I meant to retort when you said it last time you said it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they might not shoot as bad as they did.
Right.
They can't stop Luka.
Okay, but
so whether the loss is because they disappeared or because Luka is better than them, they can't beat Dallas.
I'm sorry. That Suns team, if healthy, that team beats Dallas 10 times out of 10.
Whoa,
if they show up, they didn't show up.
They were healthy. Everybody was playing.
You got at least say 9. You got at least say 9 times out of 10. Now you're just being disrespectful to Dallas. You got at least say 9 times out of 10 because there was a very important game that should have had Phoenix in the finals.
Sure.
That they didn't show up for.
Yeah, no,
so
sure.
It's not 10 times out of 10. It's at least 9 times out of 10.
Sure, I get it, but to your point about how could they worry about the Warriors? Well, and I think you kind of said this in NFL terms when we were talking about the Rams last year, looking at Tampa as the champs. The Warriors were the champs. So if you're Phoenix and you see that, you're like, yo, we got to beat the Warriors. And the Warriors are back. And so we're going to have to find a way to be able to combat that.
Yeah, but I think the major difference with that is that the Suns was in a game 7 against the team that they can't beat. So I get what you're saying, and I'm even with I'm by 75% with you on the parallel, but the other 25%, and this is the rare situation where 25% is way more important than 75, is that they can't beat Luka. And you remember it. You was there. Mm-hmm. Stop talking to me about Devin Booker being a top 10 player. Don't talk to me about it no more.
Just off that one game. The one game?
One game. Don't talk to me about Devin Booker being a top 10 player in this league. Yeah. Don't do it.
I'm not going to allow one game where they didn't show up to just automatically.
It's not just one game, though. It's not just one game.
It's hard to put him in the top 10.
It's not just one game.
It's a lot of talent, man. It's hard to put.
It is a lot of talent.
This ain't the only time Devin Booker hasn't shown up. This is just the worst time he hasn't shown up.
Okay. Are you talking about the finals against Milwaukee? Okay. They
against another top 10, right?
Sure.
In a guards league, right?
Sure. They was I guess my thinking, Ben, here is they were in the finals. They should know, and maybe you could question how they got there. I mean, Denver didn't have Jamal Murray. The Clippers didn't have Kawhi. The Lakers were compromised once AD went down in that series in that first round. So maybe you can make a case that the Suns got lucky en route to the finals.
That wasn't me though.
But you said that wasn't you?
That wasn't me.
Okay.
I wasn't questioning their journey. I looked at this team and said this team should win the finals.
Sure.
I was hoping CP3 was going to get his that year.
That year, right? Yeah. I was hoping the same thing, but
and guess what? Look, I know Devin Booker can't guard Greek Freak. I know that. Mm-hmm. But let's be clear. That finals was Greek Freak versus Devin Booker. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
was guarding.
Yeah,
not even DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
And that's Ayton's a possibility.
I think they honestly knew. I think at that point they knew. All right, we need some work. Like Ayton's gonna need to get in the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
CP3 need to stop doing State Farm commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, we got. I think at that point they knew they had work to do.
And Devin Booker got to legit be a number one.
Yeah.
I mean, we just gotta call it. Look.
Which he not gonna be now.
That's long gone now. That's long gone now. But we're not gonna sit here and act like, look, no, Devin Booker is a phenomenal player.
Mm-hmm.
We know it. Bama scored 71. We know he can score. We know what he's. But
he gonna get his though too.
He has been compared to Kobe Bryant.
Premature.
Oh, we hate that. We hate that.
We do that too much.
We don't like that.
Yeah, we do that. And now he won't stop wearing Kobe Bryant sneakers.
Same thing with Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with Jason Tatum.
Like,
I think we exalted Paul George. I say this all the time.
Uh-huh.
I think we exalted Paul George too soon. He ain't great. I'm sorry. He ain't great.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he's not great. Mm-hmm. Good player. Good player,
yeah.
Ashley Baker about to be in your ass, Trey.
What's that?
Ashley Baker about to be in your ass.
Oh, that's okay. I'm a post this clip, tag her to it. but yeah, man. Look, KD's there. I think they're the favorites this year. I don't necessarily think that they're gonna win it this year.
All right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Just to defer this conversation.
Yep.
Who in the Western Conference is really fucking with really Phoenix right now? In your mind,
who's coming out of the West? Yeah?
Who's coming out the West?
In your mind.
Yeah. We gotta see when Steph comes back. We got it because we still gotta respect. We gotta respect the champs.
No, I don't.
We gotta respect the champs here. Okay.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
If Steph
superpowers up a line.
If Steph comes back and that team gets rolling again, and I don't care where they're seated. Let's be clear about that. The West is jumbled as the way it is right now. I think you got even the Lakers probably got a chance to jump to number 6 in the conference right now. The way things are looking, but I can't sleep on the Warriors, man. But Steph has got to come back and be healthy for this run.
Let me tell you, he could be on Vulture. He could be on. Nigga, the Phoenix Suns just got the Infinity Stones in their hands, bro.
Man, you a KD.
This is Thanos with this. This is Thanos. Because you know why? But yes. Cat Pipes, you know it. But
yeah, absolutely.
At the same time,
all day.
At the same time, this puts Devin Booker in a secondary scoring role.
Yeah, it's deadly. It's deadly. I get it.
This puts Chris Paul in a third scoring role.
All he got to do is 1 point.
Right.
He don't have to score at all.
So,
yeah.
but him get if Durant do his job, which scoring wise we know he's gonna do.
Right.
If Devin Booker do his job, let's say 25, he's probably gonna do 25 a game.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Paul decided to hit you with 15 here with 8 on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. I get people the bench. Yes.
That's not my issue. That's not my issue with them. Yeah.
Maybe not you. Maybe not you, but it's been being said.
Uh-huh.
Let's be clear, y'all. Mm-hmm. Rotation is going down to about 6 or 7. Playoff time is going down to 6 or 7.
Man, they better hope them guys hold up. If they going 6-7, they better hope them start. They better hope.
But that's normal for a playoff team.
I get it. But you're talking about players with an injury history here. Booker's got somewhat of an injury history. CP3's got somewhat of an injury history. Kevin Durant has somewhat of a injury history now.
I've always said barring injury. Every time I jump out the window, I say barring injury.
Sure.
Because I don't want to be held to it.
You did it when you was with the Nets.
Every single time I say barring injury because I don't want to be held to making these crazy,
these bold predictions.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want to be held to it.
Somebody tear their ACL. Yeah.
But I feel you though. I feel you about the rest of the Western Conference because I think with teams like Memphis, Denver, even the Pelicans, I think those are the types of teams where it's like, you got to show me before I could put that, belief in you. Before I could trust you.
Memphis not there yet.
Yeah.
Pelicans.
We agree. We agree there. We agree there.
Period.
But those
if everything aligns, the Clippers should be in the mix. If everything aligns, they should. I mean, adding Eric Gordon.
Yeah.
He hadn't been healthy when it comes to playoff time, but
right.
That dude can shoot lights out. So I mean, if things all work out and they all healthy, they should be in the mix.
And dare I say, we forgot to mention this as a part of the deadline trade here. D'Angelo Russell helping out the Lakers now, and I'm not saying that he's a huge difference maker, but they traded Russell Westbrook, which I guess they thought was the problem or a part of the problem. I think he was a part of the problem. They have issues with shooting. I think D'Angelo Russell can give you some shooting. We'll see how that shapes out with the Lakers.
Nah, bro. I hear you. Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to say it because LeBron there.
They might be a playoff team. If they get in the play-in and it's one game, they might get in the tournament. They might be in a series with somebody.
Boots. They are getting their boots smoked if they got to see Phoenix.
Okay. I mean,
they're definitely going to get in, but I don't think I think this them going on a run, I think is passing them more and more as the years go by.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think they'll be in the playoffs. I agree with that part.
Yeah, sure. Because they're definitely playing better ball with the pieces. D'Angelo Russell's handling that.
Yeah,
I forget that.
Who your boy from the Wizards? They got. Your boy. Yeah. They got him. They got him.
Forgive me for
Beasley?
that.
No, not Beasley.
Hachimura.
Hachimura. Yep.
Forgive me for not being excited about the Wizards right now.
Hey man, I'm surprised Bradley Beal is he just loyal? Is he just loyal to the city, man?
Look, man, I could tell you, I gotta say yeah, and I kind of gotta respect it, and because one thing I love about, this is kind of ingrained in my city that we love people who just we there, fuck it. We ride.
We just stay,
we you know what I'm saying? That's why we was kind of hurt. That's why we still hurt this day about John Wall, because we know John Wall didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay here.
John Wall don't got no team right now.
Yeah, but they're not gonna pick him up. They
don't want to go down that road.
No, it's not that they. I don't think that. I don't think the team wants to take on that distraction for whatever reason.
Okay.
But we need that pick me up. It's not about him being good and changing the dynamic of the team.
Yeah.
At this point, you just need a reason for us to want to go to games at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
At this point,
right. Right. They're a playing team right now.
Let's be clear.
They're ninth right now.
Yeah, and that's cool, but we don't look good. Let's be clear. It happened this year, and nobody was mad. Mm-hmm. John Wall went to Washington, scored a bucket,
and said, "This is my city."
Mm-hmm. In a Clippers uniform, and we was like, "True."
Yeah.
Nobody was mad.
How much of a distraction is he? I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was that type of guy.
No, I don't mean distraction as far as like
I think you're talking about team chemistry. I think you're talking about
the way
the team's constructed.
I don't think the organization likes John Wall as a person. That's just me theory.
And I don't think he want to come off the bench either.
Yeah, and he don't want to come off the bench, and he shouldn't.
Nah.
I'ma just say it. He shouldn't.
Who could use John Wall right now? I'm trying to think. Who could use John Wall
as a starting point guard?
As a starting point guard right now. I'm trying to think. Chicago, because Lonzo Ball is getting shut down. Yeah. I would think they could use John Wall right now.
Look, I want John Wall to come back to DC. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. Me personally. I don't think it's going to happen because truth be told, if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. That's what I feel about.
That's true.
It should have happened.
What's your thoughts on number 7 behind you coming to the Suns? Do you think he done?
Carmelo?
Yeah.
It's gonna be. You know what it's gonna be like. You know what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be like what he was in LA. He just gonna stand in the corner, and when he get the ball, he gonna shoot.
But he gonna get that well-deserved ring.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
But he really don't have to do nothing. I mean,
exactly.
Yep.
Just come in and give us some quality.
Come off the bench, get some minutes.
Give us a good 17-point game in the playoffs that nobody saw coming. In a pivotal game 4, and get your ring, man. Go. I don't know why we be waiting so long. Like Carmelo Anthony gonna ask for some money. Like, right, man. Go ahead.
Melo good, man.
Go ahead, bring him in there and let him play, man.
The minimum,
Melo good. I don't know what's Melo doing right now. Like he's just chilling. Yeah.
He coming to his son's games. That's about it.
Right. Yeah.
Watching him and Bronny play. That's about it.
Unless he don't want to come, and I don't know what the conversation was, unless he don't want to go to Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? All right, but I can't see how he wouldn't want to go to Phoenix, go play with his mans,
Yep.
Don't got to put no whole bunch of real work in, for real.
Yep.
And he in good position to get a ring. I don't know what's taking so long.
He'll be better than Tracy McGrady was with the Spurs when they had their run that 1 year.
Yeah.
I was almost expecting it to happen by now. Like I'm like,
when I seen the report, I thought that meant it already happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a lot to think about. Now, I don't know. Maybe you got to cut somebody to bring him in.
cut him.
Maybe that's the issue. But whoever the lowest man on the totem pole is,
get him
go ahead
and
cut that dude, man.
Right, go ahead and cut him. Yeah. They got their whole career ahead of them. Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer that needs a ring.
He need a ring.
Get him out of there. Get him out of there.
Get my boy a ring, man, for once.
Yeah. Facts.
Get him a ring, man. Hey, Ben. Before we get you up out of here, man. You a Dallas Mavericks fan? I want to know, and this is your list, because we get a lot of phone calls after we ask our guests about their top 5, and then they'd be like, "Oh, like who y'all talking about? Y'all list is shitty." Like, you know, we get this kind of feedback after every show. So just remember, it's your list, it's your top 5. Who's your favorite 5 Dallas Mavericks all time to you?
Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna start 5-1 because I think we all know who one is.
Oh, you ranked them? Okay.
Yeah,
this is good.
I did some homework, man.
This is good.
It was a little bit of a hand scratcher. But Michael Finley at number 5.
Okay.
And the dude was loyal to the organization.
Yeah.
20 points, 2-time All-Star. He wasn't the greatest player, but the time he was here in Dallas, Michael Finley was the guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy, and that was during the time where Nash and Nash and Nowitzki was here, and then when it was just him that was here.
Yep.
So,
back when
the organization.
Back when Most Def was doing Jordan commercials.
Yeah.
You don't remember that? You don't remember the Umi says on the Jordan commercial?
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Funny story. Side note: we just did a review of Something the Lord Made. I don't know if you ever seen that, but it's Most Def playing Vivian Thomas, died in the end. Yeah, go check that out, man.
Okay,
and that was like from 2004. I didn't even know that movie was out.
Yeah, Most Def be doing like he be in his own world. He's real sneaky. He's real sneaky.
Yeah, definitely talented brother.
So, Michael Finley at number 5. Number 4, I don't know if I should have went with an old school cat, but I went with Jay Kidd. Obviously, the championship, man.
Yep.
If it wasn't for him, I don't think they would have won it.
Yeah.
He had 2 different stints, obviously with the squad. Him back in the day with the old Mavericks, and then he came back. 10 points, 8 assists, almost a double-double. You know, he averaged throughout his time. Number 3, Rolando Blackman. So it's one of these old school cats. It was originally on the Mavericks team. Yeah. 4-time All-Star, 20 points per game. A lot of people speak very highly of Rolando Blackman, so I had to definitely put him there. I was kind of iffy with Derek. I don't want to say Derek Jackson, but he does the commentating for Derek Harper. I was kind of depending if I want to put Derek Harper in there. Number 2, Mark Aguirre, another one of those old school guys. At the beginning of the Mavs, 4-time All-Star, 20 points. And obviously, we know number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, got to go with Dirk, man.
Yeah,
loyal. Going back to those loyal guys, is not a lot of those left. Obviously, I think if we look at Portland, we look at Dame. I think he's going to be there till. Yeah, he's loyal. I say this all the time. He's loyal to a default because he knows in the back of his mind
he should be a champion.
He's not winning the championship.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
he knows that, but he's loyal. Dirk was loyal, even when they were like, you know, you want another championship. The Warriors are signing everybody. That was when they were signing everybody, anybody and everybody that was a superstar. And he stayed, and he got a statue. So Dirk number 1.
Sure. Much deserved too, man. Anytime you knock off the Heat, I mean that first year the Heat was put together, man. That's legendary stuff right there. I like the list, man. What you think, Maestro?
I think that the 50-year-old person who calls me every week when top 5s, he's gonna at least say your man Ben went back and looked at history and then just go kind of with their favorite. So we'll see how my week turned out.
Yeah, because some people, I was looking at different lists, and some people had Luka in there. Like, no, it's too soon, man.
Yeah, it's way too soon.
He hadn't won a championship. I don't even think he won a scoring title.
Yeah, it's way too soon.
You can't do it. You can't do
it. One guy that I always thought was a fan favorite that was a part of the championship run was Tyson Chandler. Now, you don't think of Tyson Chandler as a Dallas Maverick. He bounced around the league a few times.
I don't know what I think of him as.
But I mean, he was pivotal in that run.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
That defense in the middle, and he was like a similar to a like Rodman, where he didn't score. He didn't need to score.
Yeah.
All he was in the middle playing D. So
yeah. For sure.
Yeah, facts. For sure. Facts.
I get Jamal Terry was another one, even though it was,
Jason Terry.
Jason Terry was another one.
Jason Terry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Terry. Josh Howard while he was here.
Josh Howard. He kind of went out wrong.
Yeah.
I'll give you another name, man. Going back into the 90s, Jamal Mashburn. He played for the Mavericks too, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think he played for the Heat at one point.
Yes, he did. He
bounced around quite a bit. So the Mavericks have had great players come through here. A lot of the times they come through at the end of their career. Obviously, Deron Williams and Kidd. But they've had a lot of good history.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, go ahead and plug everything. Let us know let the people know where they can find you and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely. So BS3 Network, all avenues of social media. I run all the accounts. So the person that's responding or posting is me. BS3network.com, BS3 TV Live. If you don't have a Roku TV or device, you can go directly to that website. All the content's on there. And that's pretty much it, man. We got something on there for everybody. Music videos. We got a couple movies, documentaries.
Okay.
Man, this man doing big stuff, man.
Yeah. I want something on there for everybody. Anybody can come on there and find something. Yeah.
I'm definitely going. Make sure. To the listeners, man. Make sure if y'all got Roku. Again, if you ain't got the little streaming box, I got one somewhere. It's somewhere in my house. But I'm definitely going to re-download the app for sure, man, and see what you got going on there. Yeah, for sure. So everybody listening, make sure y'all tap in with BS3 Network, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, all day, man. We appreciate you, man. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. So it's good hearing from you. It's good to know that you are on your way to starting your motherfucking empire. Ain't no other way to put it.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people that I appreciate your grind because we seeing you building it.
Yeah. I think that the journey, man. People think that when somebody quote unquote makes it, that it just happened overnight. A lot of these people, I talked to this artist. This dude is not super big, but he's got a pretty big YouTube channel, and he was like, "It's not that I'm great. It's just that other people fell off. Other people gave up, and I just kept going."
Right.
That's the journey.
Yeah. Respect, man. So definitely, I mean, you definitely got my respect, man, and in some respects, some motivation that I need to go harder. So for certain, respect to you.
Facts.
And props to you, man, because we talking 30 years down the line, and you could be the next big channel out. I don't even know how to say it. Like you could be a TV network. 30 years, one of the big boys in 30 years. So
who he could be? He could be Byron Allen. Yeah. Byron Allen got a lot of assets that people don't know about.
Byron Allen quietly was about to buy the Broncos.
Yes.
He got that. He got that type of bread to be buying. Yeah, I'll definitely want to be a Byron Allen. Sure.
Absolutely. Weather Channel owner, all that.
Lord willing.
Sure.
Yeah,
no doubt. We appreciate it, Ben, man. Thank you so much, man, and keep grinding, man. We watching you, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right. All right. No doubt. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Sudderth, a.k.a. BS3, owner of the BS3 Network. Y'all can follow him on Twitter also at BS3 Network as well, man. Dope conversation right there with the homie, man. Before we head out, I did want to bring this up because this is actually the news broke earlier this afternoon, but the Atlanta Hawks parted ways with Nate McMillan this afternoon, and I think the reaction from a lot of folks is that Trae Young is kind of behind the reasoning for Nate McMillan getting fired here.
Okay.
So now. I forget the previous head coach. Lloyd Pierce, I think, was the guy that was coaching there. So he's gone, and then now Nick McMillan, who took this team to a conference final. I mean, embarrassed the shit out of my Knicks in round 1, embarrassed the Philadelphia 76ers, upset them, and got to a conference final where we were actually talking about they could have took the Greek Freak out. Like, we were seriously having these conversations.
Right.
So, how do we get here? Like, how do we get here? Like, because they upgraded the roster. They got Dejounte Murray.
Did they upgrade the roster?
It's not looking like it. It's not looking like it right now. Yeah.
I mean, look, look, let's be clear. Mm-hmm. Let's be clear. I said it when it happened. Mm-hmm. It seems like they do the same exact thing. No shade. Yep. And no shade. It seems like him and DeJounte. Am I saying it right?
I call him Dejounte Murray.
Okay.
Dejounte. I call him
just saying Murray. I don't want to fuck his first name up, but it seems like they kind of do the same. They kind of do similar things.
Yeah.
So for me, it's spacing. Who's going to really sit there and spot up? Murray don't want to spot up. He want to move. He was in San Antonio, kind of doing what Trae Young do.
Right.
So now you got two people kind of doing the same thing. That can't be good for offensive chemistry.
Yep.
I don't know if Nate McMillan was responsible for bringing him in.
Yeah.
But if he was, that could have came back to bite him in the ass. We also know that Trae has had issues with Nate McMillan in the past.
Yes, we've heard that too.
So now they're not winning. Maybe some, and then that's there, and then the failure of Murray. Like, they haven't made the best off-season moves or moves. Trade. They haven't made the best moves. Kevin Huerter's going crazy in Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? Like, like they haven't made the best moves.
Yeah.
So it's kind of looking like, okay, these people left, and it might not all be Nate McMillan's fault. But
right. Yeah, they had Gallinari on that roster too, I think, too. Even though he's hurt right now, but still, that's a departure from what you guys had when y'all made that run.
And these weren't big money guys at the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I don't know that it's all Nate McMillan's fault. Truth be told, as I'm saying it out loud, he could have been the scapegoat. Now that I'm saying it out loud, he could have just been the scapegoat for the GM's lack of production. Yeah. So, but all that to say, it's not like this team was going anywhere no time soon. And I hope he finds a head coaching job with a better roster and that's interested in putting a team together.
Right.
Because y'all was building with, let's be clear, they were, in my opinion, with Capella there and the pieces they had.
John Collins,
They were a number 1, number 3, a good wingman, short of making a finals run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a good, they get a good wingman and you keep Huerter, or maybe Huerter had to go, but if you keep Gallinari, you find a way to keep Capella there.
Yep.
Man, we talking about a team that could possibly be going to the playing for the finals or at least in contention, staying in contention like they were 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of turnover happened real fast, and you had a conference championship team that's now barely making the playoffs.
Yeah, and now we're having the conversation closer to tearing this team apart now, because now there's Trae Young trade rumors. Yeah, they've been
shopping Collins forever.
Yep. But now they're trying to see if maybe someone would trade for Trae Young. Look, I would take Trae Young in a heartbeat. I don't know that with the Knicks roster right now. I don't know that I would mess with that chemistry that Brunson's got going with Randall and them boys right now, but yeah, I would try to find a way to fit him in if that were possible. But I think what's likely to happen if they do trade him, they're probably going to trade him out west somewhere.
What's RJ Barrett averaging right now? I thought about you earlier this week.
RJ Barrett's averaging about 17, 18 points a game, but let's be honest, man. That money that we gave him in the offseason, it's not living up to it right now. And I hate to count people's, pockets, but he's regressed from a year ago. And I'm not just talking offensively, I'm talking on the defensive side as well. Defensively, he hasn't been, what we need him to be, a strong wing defender. He hasn't been that for us. And offensively, He's still missing baskets at the rim when he's trying to finish. Gets to the basket very well, like with ease. Gets to the basket, but sometimes not finishing shots. 3-point shooting is mid. Yeah, I mean, for a number 3 pick, and we could go back to that draft, and I'll gladly bite my tongue on this one because I said he's probably the second best player out the draft, and Zion was number 3. Well, and I know Zion is hurt right now, but I think we're starting to see that RJ Barrett, and I don't know if it's because he's, I don't want to say buried in the rotation, but, you know, when you're bringing a Jalen Brunson who's going to orchestrate the offense, and you have Julius Randle who's better because of Jalen Brunson, RJ is easily the third guy, you know, on that team. Like he's the third guy, and
I say that.
Yeah,
I bring that up because I thought all these things you're saying I thought about.
Yeah, and
the idea was early, you know, preseason is that the keys needed to be given to RJ Barrett.
Yes.
Do you feel like the keys were even attempted to be given to him?
No.
No
attempt. No attempt. I mean, let's be clear. This is Jalen Brunson's team. And the rate on return, the money we paid him and what he's given us, man, it's looking good.
What he averaging?
He's averaging 24 right now. Okay. He's averaging 24, but he's had about 5 40-point games this year.
Okay.
And so yeah, he's scoring the basketball. He's getting guys open. He's finding guys. Julius Randle is a better, efficient player than he was a year ago. Like, this team is different. Like, this team is different from last year. We finally have a point guard. We still don't have a superstar. I'll put it that way. We still don't have the dude that's going to say, yo, I need to get a bucket, and, you know, that can do it consistently now. It's clear as day that Jalen Brunson is going to be the guy with the basketball in his hands at the end of games.
But he shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be, but he's not scared to be. Let me put it that way. He's not scared to be.
Right.
You know, we've been in situations in close games where he's gotten us clutch baskets.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy for that. But we're still kind of, you know, we're lacking that superstar dude. Mm-hmm. We're lacking that guy. Man, I'm just looking forward to the playoffs, man. I think we're gonna finish higher than 6, or no worse than 6, I should say.
Yeah. Man, must be nice.
Yeah, if we could avoid the play-in and maybe get a first round with Philly or Cleveland, I'm good for that. I'll be good for that. I think the way the teams are constructed, we could take both those teams 7 games. I'm not saying we're gonna win the series, but
right.
I would like them in a competitive, hard-fought 7-game series. And if we lose in the first round, hey, we lose as long as it's, you know, we lose in 7. I'm good. I'm good with that.
Right.
I'm just enjoying the ride.
I feel you.
So, appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Appreciate the support. Shout out to Ben BS3
yes, sir.
For dropping through with some knowledge and, you know, some good talk. Don't forget, folks, continue to follow us on those platforms. You can follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Also on our Facebook page, you can click the subscribe button. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got the Instagram account at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. If you got questions, comments, you want to email us, the email is barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And if you're listening on any of these platforms, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple, Spotify, drop us a review. Let us know what you think about the show. And it'll all be good from here. So, you know, again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate the weekly responses, the comments on the Instagram, and all that good stuff, man. If you got nothing else, Maestro, I'm good to go, man.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm hot. I don't know why the fuck I'm so hot in here, but it's been bugging me for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, Enjoy the rest of the week, my brother.
Yes,
everybody out there, y'all enjoy the rest of the week too. We'll be back next week with another hot one. Peace, one love, and mind your business.
Recording